I'm a DIY sort of guy, even when it comes to some somewhat medical procedures. In one of my videos, my vlog videos, I cauterized my own nose many months ago, and I haven't had a single nosebleed since. And I was getting nosebleeds every day, pretty near every day. In another one, I showed this a little electronic device that I had for burning off moles and skin tags. Well, I have a problem with a nail, and it's only this finger, the ring finger on my left hand, that the nail splits. And this is like my fourth bottle of biotin. A doctor said, oh, they recommend biotin. Take it every day. This is 5,000 microcentigrams. I don't know what it is. MCG, whatever that is. Micrograms. Anyways, it didn't do any good. This stuff hasn't done any good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little, like I said, semi-medical procedure that I use to keep my nail from splitting up into the live skin where all of a sudden it hurts. I'll touch something, the nail will move, and that crack will move, and it hurts. So let's get started. So there's the nail in question right there, and that there is the split. Hopefully you can see that. And it splits upward toward the pink living tissue under my nail. And as I said, if it splits up far enough and it's getting close, it hurts. I didn't file this nail down because I wanted that split to be obvious. And what some people do is they stabilize it with some sort of a fabric, like tea bag fabric, because it's a non-woven mesh. I have some mesh fabric, actually, that I'm going to use. The trick is, what do you glue it with? Because this is not like plastic or wood or metal or glass. It's translucent keratin. And what keratin is, it's a structural protein. Well, what glue sticks to protein? My favorite is actually this stuff. This is epoxy glue. I like epoxy glue. So I'm going to try something different today. This is an actual nail glue. This is for gluing on fake nails. And it's supposed to stick to the keratin nail. So that's what I want to try today. Let me get my fabric trimmed here a little bit. And then I need this. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. This supposedly sticks in 5 seconds. We'll see what happens. Gonna put plenty of that on there. I'm gonna stick that on there. I have a piece of non-stick paper here that I'm going to press that with and hold that and see how well it glues. See if it pulls off easily. If it pulls off easily, I'll use epoxy. I think 5 seconds has passed. It's not pulling off. That looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to trim this off. Like so, and then it's not really translucent. I wonder if I put some glue on top. Yeah. To change the color so it will blend in with my nail. Fan that, let that dry. That's my fix. I'll let that finish drying, and then I'll see what it looks like after I trim it up and file it. So there it is, trimmed and filed. It's not invisible, but it's not glaringly obvious either. Hopefully that'll be okay, and hopefully it'll work better, hold better than the epoxy does. If it doesn't, I can always go back to using epoxy. So there it is. Feel so dirty doing that. There's my nail. We'll see how that holds. whether that'll stop it from splitting up further and starting to cause pain. It's a little bit rough. The epoxy usually is a smoother fix, but maybe after a while that'll smooth down as I use my hands. A couple of things that I wanted to mention on a political nature. I heard something on the news recently that interested me. It was an opinion piece, but he said that if the Democrats do take over the House of Representatives, in the midterm election, they are going to be under a lot of pressure to do something about President Trump. He didn't say where the pressure was going to come from, but I assume it would be from the voters, the Democratic voters. And he didn't say what they needed to do. Now, obviously, the I word, impeachment, is what everybody's talking about. But I got to thinking, what if I was Speaker of the House? I would go to the president with a contingent of congressmen, congresspersons, Republican and Democratic, meet with the president and say, look, you've got a choice. Here's what you can do. You could, if you wanted to, resign. 2, you could wait to be impeached, and we will impeach you. Or 3, if you want to stay in office, you have to start behaving like a president of the United States. Give up on the wall. Stop all this talk about the wall. It ain't going to happen. Stop trashing Muslims. Not all Muslims are bad. Most of them are wonderful people. Stop trashing Mexicans. Most of them are wonderful people. Stop tweeting. That right there would cause him to resign. Stop tweeting. Come into full compliance with the emoluments clause. Get rid of all of these investments that he has, holdings that he's making money on. He's becoming richer as president of the United States, and release your taxes. That's your choice. Those are your choices. What are you going to do? So, what would he do? I think it might be fun to watch, especially if that does happen. The other thing that came up that I don't know, I want to say perplexed by it, but not really perplexed. I was a bit disgusted by it. It was jet going overhead again. I was bothered by that ruling that was handed down to the NFL saying that if their players take a knee during the national anthem, they could be fined, or the teams could be fined. That bothered me because there again, we're seeing an erosion of our rights, our First Amendment rights, freedom of expression. We may not agree with them taking a knee. I happen to love the USA. I love this country. One of the things that we do traditionally at Thanksgiving dinner, when a bunch of us gather together for Thanksgiving, is we go around the table and every person says one thing that they're thankful for. And I always say the same thing. I am so thankful that I was born and raised and live in the USA, because I watch the news. I see the conditions some people live under in other countries, like in Aleppo, in Syria. The people who lose their lives either by bombs falling out of the sky or rockets coming in and killing them, destroying their city, or trying to get across the Mediterranean Sea and their boat falling apart or capsizing and they die in the Mediterranean Sea. I mean, these people live under some horrid conditions out there. I live in security. I live in the USA, and I love this country, but I love the fact that we have rights, that we have freedom of expression. And to me, taking a knee during a national anthem is a peaceful, quiet, nonviolent way of expressing an objection to what they see happening among African Americans in different parts of the USA. So my feeling is, if you're going to take away people's First Amendment rights, take away their Second Amendment rights and see what the NRA will do about that. Anyways, you got to give a little if you're going to get a little, right? Okay, so anyways, that's my kitchen vlog for today. If you like what you're hearing, please subscribe. Thanks for listening, and tell others about my vlog.